I am over the moon excited to have a very, very special goddess here with me today. Her name is Mia Leighty, and she is an erotic empowerment coach. She is so fascinating and interesting. And as soon as I met her, it was like an arrow of empowerment and erotic empowerment just like hit me like a wave and ignited this erotic empowerment inside of my being. So she embodies this empowerment energy that is inside of her, and she's empowering women to step into their erotic empowerment. We need this in the world, Mia. So I'm so happy that you said yes to be part of this movement.
Thank you so much, Schamet. It's really great to be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, I asked you to be part of this leadership summit because you do hold that energy, which is so important in the world and in empowering not only women, but men too. It's a powerful energy, Eros. So, can you tell us just a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Mm. Well, as you said, I call myself an erotic empowerment coach. And I lead people and I guide people through transformational um, one-on-one sessions primarily that help people to claim their desire, to dig in and find out what is it that they really, really want that's going to make them the happiest, brightest, most radiant version of themselves. Sometimes that does have to do with people's sexuality and their intimacy, but sometimes it's just about showing up stronger and more grounded in who they are and their authenticity. And yeah, so I ask them, what do you really want? And we spend a lot of time figuring that out, which something I've learned is that that's actually really hard for people. A lot of people don't know what they want, and they don't believe that they have the permission to do the thing that they really, really want, or to go for the person that they really want, or the type of relationship they really want, or the job that they really want. So a lot of it is just about getting really clear about your desire and clearing out whatever's in the way of you having that, which it's a lot of thought forms, a lot of conditioning and programming that we've all received that has eroded um, our true essence, the core of who we are, which I believe is connected to our eros, our erotic innocence and our erotic intelligence. So we get at that and we dig in there and we start to bring it out and bring it out and bring it out until someone feels really grounded to start asking for what they want and going for it. So that's a lot of the work that I do is about.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. That's why I knew you had to be part of this summit. Women
Mm,
stepping into their empowerment and their leadership. Absolutely. 100%.
yes.
Definitely part of
Yes.
our erotic innocence, our erotic
Mm,
nature.
yeah.
We're born erotic beings.
We are. We are.
Yeah,
We are. No one could
definitely.
take that from us, even though they try.
Love that. I love that so much. Thank you so much. And so, my first question for you today is what does leadership mean to you?
And I think that leadership is kind of inherently a masculine term. It kind of comes from military and now it's in the business world. But the way that I think the new paradigm will be doing things and this way that decenters gender and decenters the masculine and kind of starts to center everybody else is really about authenticity and being able to tap into what does my inner knowing tell me is true right now? Because we're designed so beautifully and so intricately and so elegantly that we literally have a GPS system inside of our heart center and in our gut that can tell us to go this direction or that direction, or to choose this date or not that date, to do an event, or to be with this person or not be with that person. And we've been conditioned to shut that down. And so for me, to be a leader is to lead yourself, is to start to learn how to trust your intuition, your inner guidance, and start to listen to that. and follow that and strengthen that. And hopefully, if you're going somewhere cool, people are going to want to go with you. If you're doing something amazing that's helping the world and changing the world and making things better for everybody, then people are going to want to join you. Uh, Ruth Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the U.S. Supreme Court Justice, who was the second woman on the Supreme Court, said something about, um, fight for what you believe in passionately, but do it in a way so that others will join you. And I think that's a great quote about leadership from this perspective of from passion and from eros and from energy and excitement. Um, it's not about doing things best or better or expertly. It's doing things true and honestly. For me, that's what it's about.
Oh, goodness me. I love that answer, Mia. That was beautiful and well said. And I just feel so lit up right now. You should be an erotic
Yay.
coach or something.
Hmm.
I know. Oh, gosh, I love it. Oh, wow. Okay, this is good. We're starting out really well here. The conversations that I like to have fun. Like, if we can't have fun while we're doing this, then why would we be doing it? So,
Yes, yes. Let's get
mhm.
juicy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I love that. Inspiration.
Mm.
And what does old paradigm leadership mean to you? I know you touched upon it a little bit, but can you dive a little deeper?
Yeah, well, it's definitely outdated and tired and ineffective and unsustainable and dangerous and violent and ugly and nasty. In my opinion, it's like so already gone that it's a rotten piece of trash. And sadly, we don't have the full version of the new paradigm fully lit up yet, so everybody can't see it. But the old paradigm for me, it just assumes that a few people have the answer, a few people have the best plan, and everybody else just needs to listen to that. And that a few people, white men, have all the knowledge and all the experience. And old paradigm leadership is also extractive and exploitative. And it is, honestly, it's killing us. And I believe that everybody, like I was saying earlier, has the potential to guide or lead. And the best and most successful groups and projects are the ones where many voices are heard and listened to and considered, and that the decision or the answer, the solution is made up from listening to a lot of different answers. And we know this from like creative, um, corporations that do include a lot of creativity and time off for people to doodle and brainstorm together, and they say no idea is a bad idea. A lot of these companies that have been doing it this way for a long time are very, very successful because they're listening to lots of different diverse voices. That's the whole purpose of diversity, equity, and inclusion, actually, is to get the best answer for the company based on having all of you know, the minds at the table. So for me, old paradigm is a few have the answer, everybody else doesn't know anything. And for me, that's outdated, ineffective, and dangerous. And it's leading us down a very, very dark path.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Well said. And I love just your blatant honesty, just saying it like it is.
Well, you're never going to get anything but that from me. I have 5 planets in Aries and I am a truth teller. So that's just how
Oh,
I
I
came out.
love truth tellers. I'm a truth teller too, and we're the change agents. We're the ones that, kind of rock the boat and upset the
Yeah.
apple cart. And I think that's really important. It is
Yeah.
important to be a truth teller. And if the apple carts, get upset, well, they need to be. That's what creates
Right.
change. I mean, look at Martin
Exactly.
Luther King Jr. He definitely upset the apple cart and created change
100%.
and a movement. And
Yes.
so, yes. Hmm.
Yes.
And all the
Yes.
rebels, they are the ones that created the feminist movement. Good on them.
Yeah, yeah. I was doing some research for this and I came across this quote by this woman who is the CEO of some like telecommunications company in Australia. And she said, one of the things I learned was to question the status quo and not to be afraid to speak up when you discover something that needs to be said. And here she is. She's at the top. She made it to the top. And it wasn't by being quiet. It was
Yeah,
by saying, something needs to change here. This is
yeah,
not right. This is going in the wrong direction. And I guess that's the sign of a leader is someone who's really paying attention, someone who's present to the truth of what's happening, the reality of what's happening, and willing to do the upset thing to save lives or save money or, whatever needs changing in that moment. Yeah.
absolutely. Having a passionate purpose. Mm,
hmm
love it. And do you consider yourself a leader?
You know, I I never really did in the sense of like as a child or something like that, but I consider myself courageous, which I think is a really important quality of a good leader. Um, I think I have a significant gift with catalyzing new thought and new ideas and kind of being a pioneer, visionary in some ways. And I'm told that I'm a leader, but I think it's just because I take initiative. I think some people would rather wait and see what someone else is going to do. And that's not me. I'm the type of person that goes to a restaurant, and if the furniture is not working for the flow of my group, I just start rearranging the furniture. That's just one little thing that I do that's just like, this isn't working. We can fix it. So I think having that impetus to 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 see it something could be done better and then the willingness and the courage to do it, I suppose that makes me a leader. And also like when I'm leading people through transformation, I guess I'm leading them because I've gone before them. I have done that work. I have looked at myself. I have done the exercises that I'm sharing, and I'm supporting them from behind. I'm like, I've done this. You can do it too. And I think, there's that great quote by Lao Tzu, who, was a man who talked a lot about leadership when he was talking about how to do war the best way possible. Um, he said, if you're going to lead people, lead them from behind. So
Mm,
um, I guess I'm a leader in that way because I'm courageous and I'm not afraid to go first.
I love it. I love that so much. And because we're redefining what leadership is, what I have been noticing is the leaders that I've chosen to be part of this summit that I know are leaders are a bit reluctant to say, yes, I'm a leader. And I think it's because of that old paradigm leadership. They don't want to be associated with that. And that is
Yes.
why we're
Yeah.
having this conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, a lot of us are entrepreneurs and we don't have a big team and we're just doing our thing. And, we might be leading our clients in the sense of like, I've gone here, it's safe, you can go here too. But I think, yeah, the old paradigm is that there's this manager at the top of a hierarchy and it's very hierarchical, it's very militaristic. It's just not natural. That's not how nature works, right? I mean, nature works together. Nature is collaborative. And a child can point out if you're just think about it, if you're in like a clan or in a collectivist society and you're going through the jungle or whatever, any member of that group can point out danger and say, "Hey, something you guys need to pay attention to." If it just you don't need to have fancy skills to do that. And they're going to listen and they're going to praise that whoever that was. Thank you for pointing that out. So, um, yeah, leadership is new paradigm leadership is collaborative and collectivist and it's circular, cyclical, inclusive.
Mm,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Hmm.
And when you hear the words awaken the new feminine paradigm, what emerges for you?
Um, let's see. I think it's about, I mean, I am a little reluctant to continue to push the gender binary at all. I'm much more interested in the fluidity of the gender spectrum and how energy works. And obviously, yes, we have poles and opposites, create a reaction. And in that reaction, there's energy. But I am reluctant to identify these energies with gender or even specifically masculine and feminine. But new paradigm for me is about looking within, and it's about finding your own power and then collaborating with others who have looked within and found their power, so that each person is speaking from a place of, this is what I experience, this is what I see, this is what I think, what do you experience, what do you see, what do you experience, and around the table until, again, every voice has been heard. Um, and that way, I think we're going to come up with much better solutions to the problems that we're all dealing with, right? So we need to awaken that down and in energy that is technically feminine. If you think about the Taoist approach and the yin of the yin yang, you know, elemental way things work in the universe, is that the yin is down and in, and that's where the opportunity is, that's where the deep wisdom is. So in that way, we do need to awaken that. We need to remember what's inside of us, what's wired into us through evolution and through cosmic brilliance, instead of this patriarchal way of looking at things that, there's not enough and therefore we have to exploit and we have to extract and we have to take advantage of and we have to have power over. Um, I think this new way is about, rather than sourcing it from someone or somewhere else, we find a way to source it from within ourselves. And I know that that's a little abstract when we're actually thinking about like resources and things like that. But if we're just looking at solutions, I think we could find the solutions by looking within and and not turning away from the difficult things that we need to look at, and but choosing to look at the truth, to look at reality, to face it head on, and to heal it. And I'm just now reminded of the bison, and when bison herds are just hanging out and winter starts to come, and the first blizzard that comes, if they don't go straight into the blizzard and get through it, they will all die. Because after that blizzard is another blizzard, is another blizzard, and they have to move away from winter. They have to migrate. And the willingness to look at what's true and to take that head on and to go through that challenge in order to save lives is, for me, it's new paradigm, but it's actually radical because it's returning to our roots. It's returning to the way nature works, which means a lot of humility of like, oh, you're right, that's maybe not the best way, and listening and having gratitude for every single viewpoint. Um, it's a slow process, and I think that's why we don't do it, because we're scared and we're afraid and we're basing everything off of scarcity and fear and terror instead of trusting ourselves and trusting nature and trusting the process. So a
Beautiful.
little bit
Well
about
said.
what comes up
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah, beautiful. Well said. I love that. The conversation I had yesterday with another of the keynote speakers, she talked about how the old paradigm was that scarcity mentality, and that new paradigm is abundance mentality, which is exactly what you're saying. And I find it interesting that we've gotten to this point where we're reluctant to even call it feminine or masculine because of the, you know, polarization and the black and white thinking and how much damage it's done and how much, separation it's caused. And, but at the same time, like it is what we know. Like we understand when we say feminine, we understand that's the yin, that's the softness, that's the feminine energy. And then the masculine is that strong outward yang energy. But I agree, like men can have more feminine energy and women can have more masculine energy. And so it's important to understand the multidimensionality of it. And it's complex. It's
It
not
is
black and white.
complex. It's not. And I actually would even, beg to differ a little bit. I don't think that the feminine is soft. I think she's fierce as F.
Oh,
Fierce
true.
AF.
Good point.
I think she's fierce AF. I mean, show
Yeah,
me
true.
a mother bear or a
Mm.
mother that is protecting her young, and she's not soft, right? And we are in a situation right now where we need the fierceness, and it's not the violence for the sake of violence, for the sake of territory. It's we have to save our humanity. Our souls are on the line right now, and that is going to require ferocity, right? And it's fierce love. And it's not soft, and it's not pleasant, and it's not diplomatic, and it's not neutral. We have multiple genocides going on. We have ecocides, the destruction of our climate, and we are on a burning planet. And it doesn't have to be this way. And I'm thinking of like Greta Thunberg and Malala Yousaf and Joan of Arc, all in girl bodies, not
I met
light.
Greta. I met Greta in Sweden. I told my
Wow.
family that I wanted to manifest meeting her a
Ah,
few days before, and I put that out there. And I was at the body shop, and I told the ladies there, I was like, I came to Sweden because I want to meet Greta, and they said, "Oh, she's having a march tomorrow," and they told me where it was, and I was like, "Right, we're gonna meet her." And so,
oh
there's
my gosh.
thousands and thousands of people at the
Yeah,
march.
yeah.
And so my two sons go, and we did. We went into a cafe. My intuition guided me. My inner guidance system said, go into this cafe. And the kids were like, come on, mom, we're not hungry. I was like, we have to go in here. And they're like, okay. So we go in there, and there she is with
Oh
her
my God.
her whole group of friends. And you're
Ah,
right. She's not soft at all. She's
no,
fierce, very
she is.
fierce. And all her friends are very fierce too, very protective. Because I
Yeah.
went up to her and I was like, oh my God, Greta, I've been wanting to meet you. La, 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 la. And they just kind of gathered around. And I was like, oh
Wow.
boy, I could feel the energy. It was like, oh.
Wow.
But we had a great
Yeah.
conversation, and they realized that I was cool, and
Safe.
it was,
Yeah.
yeah, and safe. And my God, she's got a lot of fire in her. I love her. But yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. She's fierce,
And
and
it's
sh
and it's and it's not
Mhm.
masculine fire,
No,
right?
no, you're
It's
right.
feminine, it's protective, it's I love this planet and I want to live and I want us all to live. And it's yeah, to me, that's it. I mean, I think we need our softness for our self-care. I think we need our softness when it comes to how we deal with conflict in our families and in our work. I think we need softness when we need to deploy compassion. But when it comes to getting something done, it requires fire.
Yeah,
And fire can be feminine,
our
right?
sacred
It
holy fire.
doesn't,
That's right.
yeah, I mean, this is what I mean. I don't think nature thinks about things in terms of masculine and feminine or any of that. I think
Mm,
this is a lot of intellectualizing that we've been doing because we've been trying to understand things, and then it's been used against us to keep us all in our places. And we are in a time now of kind of like erasing all of that so that we can just live from our truth and use our intuition. I love that your intuition guided you to do something that made no sense. And there it was your manifestation of your dream. I
oh,
love
I
that.
love Greta. I love her so much. She's so, oh, feisty, and you know what
Yeah.
you know what it is? It's she's driven by her
She's
passion, by her
committed. Mm-hmm.
purpose, and
Mm-hmm.
the fire is lit within her, and she's so strong. I love that you brought that up because it is another patriarchal construct to say that femininity needs to be soft. And I actually was just on a podcast a couple weeks ago, and I said that, well, you can't be soft and feminine when your child runs into the road. As a mom,
Right.
you're going to run
Right.
after your child. You're going to grab that child. You're going to even yell and you're going to become
Yeah.
fiery. But then we're
Right.
told that we're aggressive. When
Right.
a woman, I mean, when
Yep.
a man is in his power, he's powerful. But when a woman steps into that kind of power, we're told we're aggressive. And,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm really happy that you just, called me out to call me in on that one because I agree with you.
I know
Absolutely.
you do. I know you
100%.
do. And it's just it's something that I'm passionate about. As someone you see on the YouTube, I mean, on the Zoom here, it says Mia, she, they, and that's the way that I claim my masculine, which I have a lot of. And but I'm also very feminine and I'm very dreamy and I'm idealistic and I'm, emotional and all of that. But I'm very direct and I'm very clear and I want to claim all aspects of myself. And that's one reason why I'm very supportive of the trans movement in the world, because not only are they just trying to fight for their survival and for their existence and for their rights, they are fighting for all of us to dismantle the system that is keeping us all mentally enslaved by the gender binary. And the sooner we can let go of that, the sooner we'll all be free, and when you get free and I get free, more people get free, and that's what we need. There's much too
Yeah.
much real slavery and mental slavery going on right now.
Real slavery and mental slavery. I love that. I keep getting these visions of the Matrix and us all being in our little pods, and that the patriarchy is within us, and we are breaking free from these little, constructs that
Oh,
society has
yes.
placed on us so that we
Oh,
can be
yes.
free to be who we are. And so I love
Absolutely.
that. So my next question is very on point, and that is, what does power mean to you?
Power to me is kind of what I was saying earlier, that like when I think of power, I think of the forces of nature. I think of storms, I think of oceans, I think of wind, and even the very subtle power of the forest, the quiet underground network of the mycelial um, network that keeps the forest alive. I think that is very powerful. The creativity in that is very powerful. I think of just earth, right? I think of a woman giving birth. I think of natural phenomenon. I think of a group of humans drumming and dancing to celebrate life or to celebrate someone who's passed a death or to wake everybody up for the revolution that is necessary, and they do that through drum and dance. I think that's powerful. I think i think of the power to create and sustain life, and I think of the power of love. um, that's the kind of power I'm interested in anyway, focusing on.
Oh, I love that answer. What a potent and powerful answer. I love the way you think, Mia. I'm so enjoying this conversation.
Oh, good. Me too.
Mm,
Thanks for seeing me and asking such great questions.
yeah, yeah, you're welcome. And so the next one is, who are your favorite leaders? Who inspires you and lights you up?
Yeah. Well, I said a few already. Joan of Arc, um, who had a spiritual calling that led her to become the youngest general in the French army and to lead them to peace after hundreds of years of war. I think of Malala Yousaf, who fought for and is still fighting for girls all over the world to be able to go to school, and the importance of having an educated, um, having all citizens be educated and literate. so that they can contribute to the society. Um, I think of Jane Fonda, you know, someone who never gives up for fighting for justice. Right now, her big passion is climate justice, something that we desperately need, and we need celebrities who are willing to get arrested. I don't even know how many times this woman has been arrested, hundreds of times in the last
It's
50,
so
60
good.
years.
I love it.
Um, People who trust their hearts, that they know that a better world is possible and they are willing to speak the truth to the powers that be and to say, no, I have something to say and I am going to commit my life to this. So for me, leadership and all of this stuff is I'm a social justice warrior. I'm an agent of change. That's just who I am and how I think. Um, so I don't know how some of this really translates to like the corporate world or whatever, but I definitely have never been able to think of myself as working well in corporate America because I just don't think it's set up for someone like me who
Mm,
is going to continually say, no, this isn't right. This isn't right. This could be better. This can be better. Let's try this. Let's listen to that person. And it's like, okay, maybe that's great, but we wouldn't get anything done. We wouldn't get the assembly line going or whatever. But this is these are the people that I think of, these types of leaders, social justice leaders.
I love it. Love that. And I agree with you. Amazing. Thinking outside of the box and those that have created huge change. Um, and what are I know you've talked about it a little bit, but what are the characteristics? If you dive a little deeper into the characteristics that
Mm.
you admire in leadership, but specifically New Thought leadership.
For me, what's really important when I think about the new paradigm consciousness that we are all stepping into is that we bring forward these qualities of intuition, creativity, and courage. Courage maybe also is another way of saying it is just authentic expression. You know, I don't think nature really is comparing itself to other forms of nature. It just is. It's just doing what it does. And you might say that's courageous in this world because there's so much shame about being your authentic self. So it requires a lot of courage. But I do think that since we are moving from old paradigm to new paradigm, I think courage is something that we need to bring with us. Um, but intuition, I think, and this is something that you teach a lot about that, I know that so many of us don't feel like we have a good relationship with our intuition, and we wish we had, and we might only remember our intuition when something goes wrong, and we remember, oh, I actually had a premonition about that, and I didn't listen. That's
Mm,
when we usually think about our intuition. It's a little bit too late. So if we can develop the skill of intuition, I think we could just make better decisions faster. We could innovate solutions. And then creativity is for our own edification, for our own enjoyment, but also to think about solutions and to be able to do things more effectively and more efficiently so that we um, waste less and we destroy less and we do things more expertly. I would like to see us being more precise about what we do and how we do it. And I think that comes from intuition and creativity. And yeah, courage, I think, is necessary. Otherwise, you're just never going to do the thing. You're not going to get off the couch. You're not going to write the book. You're not going to start your business. You're not going to call your representative. You're not going to show up at the protest unless you have enough courage to do the thing that's a little uncomfortable, a little scary.
I love that so much. And those are oracle cards in my Wounds to Wisdom Oracle deck.
Ooh, I can't wait to see it. I'm sure
I
it's so
know.
beautiful.
I know. I
Yes.
know. I'm so happy with them. But yeah, courage is one of them. And obviously intuition. I mean, goodness me. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
love intuition has saved my life. It has saved my children's life. It has helped and saved many of my clients' lives and also made their lives better. And so I think our inner guidance system is so important, and we all have it. We all have intuition. It's not just for special people.
Right.
It's accessing more of your brain capacity and the acceptance of what sometimes does scare us. And intuition can scare people, right?
Yeah.
It can be quite confronting when you have a
Yeah.
premonition that someone dies and then they die. And that is how
Yeah.
my abilities
Yeah.
began. And it
Yes.
was quite a process and a journey of empowerment in itself.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
thank you for that
Hmm.
acknowledgement. Um,
Yes.
yeah. And so I've got the biggest question of all, and it's the most fun, in my opinion. And that's if you were made leader of the world, what would you do? What would you begin? What are the first things
Well,
you would do?
one of the first things that I would do is something I think is really fun. And I've had this idea for a while that, well, at least in the United States, but I think in every government, whenever there's an election and a bunch of new people get a job as civil servants and they begin their new session, they have an orientation, right? They have a whole week of going around and getting oriented to the buildings and understanding where everything is and meeting each other. And that's all cool and everything, but what if they actually went on like a survivor style camp out and they had to, you know, chop wood, carry water, and track and forage for the food, and they had to work together. And they looked at the stars and they sat around a fire and maybe they take some cacao or, just something that opens their heart. They get to know each other. They realize they get to know really how someone got to the position that they are in and what they've been through and what they had to go through to get to that place of leadership. And to make it even more fun, I would make it a reality TV show where everybody's watching and we get to vote.
I'm voting for you.
We're voting for them and we're like, this person is just an a-hole. We don't want him. And so he might still go into Congress, but he's going to know that everybody's watching him and everybody already knows his number because he wasn't cool, right? He lost his cool or he was, creating conflict, or people are going to realize, oh, this person's a natural leader. They have great ideas, you know, or wow, these two people on opposite sides, they found common ground. We love them just for that. And so they vote like Dancing with the Stars or whatever. The people are voting in a popularity contest, but it's all based on congeniality and creativity and ingenuity and leadership and all of that. So that's one of the first things that I would do.
I
And
love it. I love it.
yeah, it's like bring some humility to the table to these leaders because I think they forget that they are just not just um, they aren't just humans, right? They're special humans that are signing up for something important. And I want them to remember that they are here for us and for our planet. And I think they forget. I think
Yeah.
they forget. So if we got to all watch that, I think that'd be fun. The other thing is education. I mean, I think it all starts with education. I would teach a K through 8 curriculum based on how to be a good person instead of how to be a good worker, um, how to experience joy, how to be happy and how to be healthy and how to have good relationships, how to communicate well. I would make the K through 8 curriculum based off of social emotional development, but also I think it would be very cool if the education system uh, across the board, let's say you want to teach someone physics, you have those kids build the sets for the theater department. And so they're learning the physics and angles and all of that, levers and everything that you learn in basic physics, but you're doing it in real time for your friends for their thing that makes them happy. And so you're working together and you're learning about the stars by actually looking at the stars. Um, You're learning about geometry from, looking at plants and looking at the beauty of the design of those plants. So um, I would teach kids how to ask difficult questions, how to truly think critically, how to like listen, how to debate well with each other. I would obviously, because I'm into erotic empowerment, I would teach about safe intimacy, consensual intimacy at a PG level, at a PG-13 level, appropriate to their age and their development, but teaching them about empathy and emotional intelligence, but also about pleasure and about
Mm.
giving it and receiving it and deserving it and making choices about who you hang out with based on, does this person make me feel good about myself? Does this person help me feel more joy to see the world in a more hopeful way? And making that be the thing that's cool. Um, so those are some of the things that I would do if I were in charge. I would do those two things.
Well, if you decide to change career and run in a political position, I will be voting for you, Mia.
I don't know that I could if I could handle it. But maybe in the new paradigm when things are going differently, maybe I would think about it. But yeah.
That's what really makes me sad is that, and it's been this way for a long time, and I'll include myself, that, a long time ago, when in my early 20s, I thought, oh, maybe I'll work in politics because then I can make a change and then I can make a difference. And I seriously considered it. But then I thought, oh, but do I want to be part of all of that? Eh, not so
Yeah.
much. And so
Yeah,
I and so
that's why I'm like,
I checked out. I just thought, nah, I'm not going to do it. But I tell you what, Mia, I'm at university studying psychology, and we had this lecturer come in, and she was an empowered leader. And she said, if you are getting a degree in psychology, you have to become political. You have to take a
mm,
stand. And
oh,
she was amazing. She got me
wow.
all lit up. And I thought,
Ooh,
she's quite right. She's quite
yeah.
right. Like, what are my beliefs? What is my point of view? And how can I make a difference while I'm here on the planet? And so,
Mm,
there's different ways of doing it, but if we don't do anything, things will continue and things will
yes.
repeat. And so
Yes.
this is why, I knew that I had to do this leadership summit is we need all hands on deck. We need all voices and I feel we all need to step into our leadership, whatever that means, if we're leading from behind or we're the quiet leader or there's different types of leaders. And so,
Yes.
yeah, so you're saying that maybe if you're in the new paradigm, but we have to create the new paradigm, don't we?
We are creating it. And
Yeah.
that's what's so exciting about right now, even though there is so much horror right now and fear mongering and real life violence that is impacting billions of people's lives. There's also billions of people waking up and standing up and taking to the streets and demanding something be done differently and saying, you know what, you can kill us and we're still gonna fight because we know that something else is possible. And behind those frontline leaders are artists, are healers, are teachers, um, people caring for the children while the people go and do the frontline work. I mean, I guarantee you that all the Greenpeace, not all, but a lot of the Greenpeace activists have families.
Hmm.
And someone has to care for those children while the activists are out doing the frontline work. And that's the thing about a revolution is there's many, 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 many layers to it. And there's a lot of people part of the revolution that you'll never even know who they are. The sign makers, the graphic designers, all of that. And I think something about the new paradigm when it comes to politics, I'll just say this, is that we have removed private financing from the electoral process. If we could really do that, then I think more people with great ideas and really strong work ethics and humility will rise up to be a leader. But right now, with finance being playing such a role, um, that's at least in the United States and a lot of the Western countries, that's not happening. So that's something else I would change. And maybe then people like me and you, we could get elected.
Yeah,
We could do
exactly.
something,
I
you know?
know.
But we'll never get elected because we don't have enough money. So, but I really believe
But
that
look
we
at what
are.
Marianne Williamson has been doing. I mean, my
Oh,
goodness.
my
Yeah.
goodness. Thank God for Marianne Williamson. She knows she's not going to win, but she's like, I'm going to get to the table so that I can say the thing
Yeah.
that the world needs to hear,
Yeah.
which she is, but yeah, she's very courageous.
She's a pioneer and she's laying down the
She is.
foundation.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I admire her leadership because even if she doesn't get elected, she knows that she is creating that foundation in which others can then stand
Mm-hmm.
upon,
Mm-hmm.
and she's passionate. She's got passionate
Mm-hmm.
purpose. It just, oh,
Mm-hmm.
love her.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. She's a good one. She's a good one. Yeah. Open-hearted and passionate were two others that I would have said about, new paradigm leadership or it's just you can only you asked for three, so I came up with three. But yeah, passionate is obviously one. Open-hearted and just heart-centered
Yeah.
is essential. And that's something I wanted to say more about actually is that like emotions play a role in leadership. And I think that we've been lied to that emotions have no place in leadership and no place in business. And that's why women aren't allowed at the top and aren't allowed to serve weren't allowed to serve in the military for so long because their emotions would get us into trouble. And I think what's getting us into trouble is that we have a whole lot of leaders who have no idea how to feel their feelings and are not willing or know how to feel what's going on for them. So they are completely out of touch with humanity. So they're making decisions um, without their humanity.
Yes.
And so I think we need leaders who can
Yeah.
feel deeply,
Emotional
actually.
intelligence.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My Wounds to Wisdom Oracle deck is an emotional and spiritual intelligence guidebook because I agree
Oh,
with you. If we can have emotional intelligence, that is the new paradigm of leadership to me.
yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
I agree with you. And we need to have emotional, spiritual intelligence on this planet in all capacity, not just in
Yeah.
leadership, but
Right. And the beautiful thing is that it's already wired in.
yeah,
It's
that's right.
built in. We have emotional intelligence because we're designed to belong and we're designed to work together because that's how we survive. That's
Yeah,
how nature works.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Collaboration, not competition. Love it.
Mm-hmm. I,
And so do you have any last and final words of wisdom?
mm, I think just it comes back to the piece about intuition and authenticity of truly asking yourself, what do you really want? Who do you want to be? What kind of person do you want to be? What kind of world do you want to live in? And then make that your value and operate from that place. And do the work to clear out everything that's not that. All the conditioning, all of the religious programming, the societal programming, the trauma that's in, your lineage. It's like looking at it. What is the gold? And getting rid of the rest, but not casting it away and repressing it, like truly like thanking it and working through it so that you can be free, so that you can shine your brightest and be your badass, creative, colorful, wild, radiant, juicy, opinionated, self. All of it. We need all of it. We need all the voices. So yeah, I would just really encourage people to look within and to get the support that you need so that you can do that work. We don't heal alone in a vacuum. We heal together and we need each
Yeah,
other and we need support. We need mentors and we need colleagues and peers so we can ascend to this new consciousness. Yeah.
wonderful. How lovely. Thank you. Those are good words of wisdom. The wonderful, juicy words of wisdom, actually. And you have a free offering for everyone. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I have a book. It's a very short, easy read ebook called There Is Nothing Wrong with You. And so if you know that you're meant for something important, or you know that you want something deeper in your erotic life, your intimate life, your relational life, and you might be feeling stuck, then this book is for you. And, it has just some basics about what could be in the way of you having that. Um, but what we want is for people who have a well of passion or creativity, something they want to get out into the world, or a relationship that they know that will be deeply fulfilling. We want you to have that. So my book is basically that you're not broken, that you are enough, that you've been programmed and conditioned in a certain way, that you can actually override that. You can rewrite your mind. So you can start to draw on your creative energy, your powerful energy, and your most beautiful, alive, erotic energy. And yeah, owning what you want, tapping into that, accepting it, and asking for what you want. Ask for the raise, ask for the promotion, ask for the date. So the book is got an exercise at the end that helps people lean into mindfulness, to pleasure, in a way so that you can start making that your GPS, your North Star, and creating what it is that you want in the world. Yeah, so
Beautiful.
I
Thank you
really hope
so
it
much for
helps
that.
people. Yeah.
Wonderful. I'm looking forward to that. And you're also going to be making an offer in the 3-day workshop that's coming up as well. Can you tell us a little bit about what your offer is?
Yes, my offer comes from my background as a dancer and a mover, and someone who really believes that free form movement is the quickest way to bypass the cortical brain, the front part of the brain that keeps us in our head. And we start moving our hips and we start shaking our body. And that's when we start to feel alive and we feel joy and we start to bypass the mind and we can start to have access to our creativity. So it's going to be a little bit of a talk about that. And yeah, it'll be a little bit leaning towards um, that your body is where your eros is, and coming down into the body and owning how does it want to move, and how does this emotion want to move, and how if I move this way, how does that make me feel, and just kind of seeing the connection to all of that, so that at the end of the practice you will be feeling hopefully more alive, more connected to yourself, more joyous, and ready to take on a task or to do something bold. Yeah, quick little practices, little movement medicine doses that you can do whenever you need a little hit of aliveness and energy. That's what you'll get out of that class, and I'm excited about that.
Oh, that sounds amazing. I'm looking forward to it. I love movement and I love the empowerment that comes through movement as well. So thank you so much for that offer. And thank you so much for your wisdom, your time, your energy, and yeah, so much love. And for all of you that are listening, make sure you sign up for the workshop because it's going to be really, really powerful and potent. Mm.
Thank you so much, Schamet. It was great to talk with you, and I loved our conversation. And I always feel so alive when I'm with you. And yeah, congratulations on the summit and putting it together. And I know it's going to be fantastic. Really excited to be a part of it.
Thank you. That was beautiful. And as always, I love being in your energy too. You're such a powerful, potent, beautiful, juicy goddess. And thank you for all the work that you do, empowering women to, you know, step into what they want and who they are and claim their sovereignty and own their all the aspects of who we are. I
Hmm.
loved when you said, actually, feminine energy is not soft. I love that. I was like, it's true. I'm not always soft. I'm quite strong and outspoken
Yes,
and feisty
yes,
and I'm going to just
yes,
own it, claim it. It's my
yes,
sovereign right to be who I am
yes,
in all my
yes,
aspects.
exactly. Exactly. Well, when you did your I Have a Dream share. And that was not soft feminine. That wasn't neutral. That was someone with a point of view and a vision and some fire in their belly and a gigantic open heart and a lot of courage, which we know courage comes from the heart. So, yeah, I think softness has its place and it's not in leadership. And I think that doesn't preclude women from participating in leadership.
Bam. You just nailed it. Out of
Yeah.
everything that we talked about today, what really lit me up was when you called me out to call me in about how feminine energy is not always soft, that it can also be really strong. And I loved that so much, Mia.
Right?
This is about
Like
claiming all aspects
it's,
of who we are.
yes, we are so much more than these arbitrary, you know, behaviors, set of behaviors that we've been assigned based on our sex or our gender or our energy or whatever. It's like we need to have energetic agility to be able to know when the sword and when the hug and when the water and when the, pointing in that direction. Like we need to know, a good leader knows when to grab what tool, what weapon. And I think if we trained everybody to have the trust in themselves to be able to reach within and get that for the right moment, we would be much better off than saying you do this and you do that based on some chromosomes. I mean, it just doesn't work out like that.
I love that. I love that
Yeah.
so much. I have loved our conversation about leadership, new paradigm leadership, and all of it has been incredible. Thank you so much for being who you are in the world. You make this world a better place.
Mm. Thank you, dear sister. I appreciate you. I'm glowing, and this is not how I started my day. So this is so beautiful. I feel purposeful. I feel well used, and I feel also very lit up and excited. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Your voice is needed in the world. So thank you for saying yes and stepping into your feminine and masculine power.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah.
the aspects and
We
all
use it
the
all.
energies.
Yes. 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 Thank
Yes.
you. Well, have a beautiful night, and I'll see you very soon.
Okay. Bye. Mwah.
Bye.
Mwah.